History is often presented as a sequence of dates, kings, wars, and discoveries, but hidden beneath those polished timelines lies a far darker record, one filled with unanswered questions, vanished people, and moments where reality itself seems to fracture. In 17th century England, during the height of the Great Plague, entire neighborhoods of London were sealed overnight. Yet official records quietly note houses found days later, completely empty, with food still warm on tables and doors locked from the inside, as if families had simply stepped out of existence. One such account speaks of a night watchman who reported seeing shadows moving behind shuttered windows, followed by complete silence. And when the house was forced open, no bodies, no struggle, and no explanation were ever recorded. Centuries earlier in medieval Europe, monks wrote of travelers entering dense forests and never emerging, even when search parties followed their exact paths, finding only footprints that abruptly stopped, as if the ground itself had swallowed them. Across the Atlantic, the mystery deepened when over 100 settlers of the Roanoke Colony vanished without warning in the late 1500s, leaving behind homes, tools, and personal belongings untouched, with only a single cryptic word carved into wood, a message so vague that historians still argue whether it was a clue, a warning, or a final confession. What disturbs researchers most is not the disappearance itself, but the calm it suggests, the absence of violence, the sense that whatever happened occurred without panic, without resistance, as though the settlers were compelled to leave by something they could not fight or even fully understand. In the 1800s, similar unease crept into the forests of New England, where the Bennington Triangle became infamous for people vanishing in broad daylight, some in front of witnesses, their footsteps ending suddenly on clear trails, defying logic and geography alike. One case involved a young boy whose footprints were tracked in fresh snow for miles until they stopped in an open field with no surrounding marks, as though he had been lifted straight into the air. Throughout history, sailors reported ghost ships drifting silently across oceans, fully intact yet entirely abandoned. Meals set on tables, cargo untouched, crews missing without a single sign of struggle, forcing investigators to quietly close cases they could not explain. Ancient Roman texts mention entire military units marching into fog-covered valleys and never returning, their disappearance later dismissed as exaggeration, though no records ever contradict the losses. Even castles, symbols of security and strength, were not immune, with accounts of guards vanishing from locked towers, chains still bolted, doors sealed, and keys hanging undisturbed on hooks nearby. Modern historians often attribute these events to hysteria, natural disasters, or missing records. Yet such explanations fail to account for the eerie consistency across continents and centuries, a pattern suggesting that human history contains gaps not caused by ignorance, but by something deliberately unrecorded. What if these mysteries were not isolated incidents, but brief moments when unknown forces intersected with our world, quietly removing people without chaos or noise? What if history remembers wars and empires because they were loud, while the true terrors were subtle, leaving behind only silence and questions? As archives grow and technology advances, these stories remain unresolved, resisting every attempt at rational explanation, reminding us that the past is not just something we study, but something that still watches us, waiting in the shadows between facts, where history ends and mystery begins.